on to you, Geminis out there. So you have the Four of Pentacles, the Hangman, and the Two of Pentacles. For you, Geminis, there's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to financially support the channel. Would really appreciate it if you would. Have everything from tarot readings, birth chart readings. I also help you to learn the tarot yourself. Thank you in advance to everybody that's come through. Thank you in advance to everybody that will come through in the future. Okay, so for you, Geminis, you have the Four of Pentacles, the Hangman, and the Two of Pentacles. So let me take a step back and get a better idea of what's going on. Okay. Okay. So the Four of Pentacles, the Hangman, and the Two of Pentacles represents how a lot of you Geminis are able to peep a lot of game, because a lot of you are dating way more wise. And what I mean by that is you're paying attention to what's going on. You know, Gemini, just like Sagittarius, happens to be the same axis, but Gemini and Sagittarius can be quite distracted, right? So y'all pull from that opposite polarity of one another. Y'all can be distracted. You know, Gemini has a lot of different projects, a lot of different things, a lot of moving parts. Gemini is chaos because it's a lot of moving parts, a lot of different variations and parts, and a lot of things moving. So this can be distracting if you don't know, if you don't know what the contradiction is, if you don't know what the underlining cause is. That can represent a distraction. And what I mean when I say underlining is everyone has a method to their madness, right? I ain't gonna say everyone, but a lot of people have a method to their madness. And sometimes it may not necessarily be for other people to understand. But when you Geminis have a method to your madness, to the outside world, it could look like chaos. And it is, because it is chaos. But it's something that you Geminis understand, even though it is chaos. It's your particular brand that you understand. The reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of you Geminis have kind of gotten a lot of people to slip up by thinking that you Geminis are just chaotic and you're not really paying attention, even though you Geminis actually are, in fact, paying attention to who they are and where it is that these people are ultimately going. And how it is that I can say that is because the Four of Pentacles represents you're not really willing to just willy-nilly give up all your information, you know, just hand the person all of you. Here I am. Here's all of me. You're not willing to do that. A lot of you Geminis are like, you know, let's take some time. You Geminis aren't normally willing to do that anyway. You know, a lot of you will come off as friendly and y'all may end up doing a little bit of light flirting and stuff. But for the most part, Geminis don't normally just come out and say, here, take all of me. Here's a detailed book on me and everything like that. You know, you and, you know, the whole planet Mercury, Virgo and Geminis don't normally just come out and do that anyway. So you Geminis have been able to actually keep your cards close to your chest. Getting to know other people, but just, right? And the Hangman, being patient, not wanting to divulge pieces of information. You know, people talk about how it is that I'm guarded and stuff like this. Listen. And then they try to turn it against me later. It's like who, you know what I'm saying? Like anytime Gemini, let me tell you something. Anytime someone's trying to get you to open up too fast like that, that's a problem. Like it's one thing if you just now getting to know them and you opening up slowly. There's nothing wrong with that. People will talk about how you're guarded, and it's like this is why relationships be crashing and burning. This is why people's relationships, they don't know what it is that they doing. They open themselves up completely, right? And tell all their business to a complete stranger. And then they wonder why things don't necessarily work out for them. And then when somebody is like, listen, I'm not necessarily just going to tell you every single thing just like that. They look at it like, oh, now you guarded. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guarded, you this, you that. And it's like, it has nothing to do with that. What it has everything to do with is you don't want to end up having to tell somebody something, and then now your business is all in the street, and people are now trying to take advantage of that. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what I mean when I say, when it comes to the element of people who get themselves in relationships, and then the next thing you know, 2-3 months later, they're moving in. It's like, what are y'all doing? You don't know this person like that. 1 year is just 12 months. You literally just met this person 3 months ago. That's 90 or so days ago, around the 90-day ballpark, so many days ago. And then now you moving in with the person. You got to understand that when it comes to even family, the people who you are genetically related to, you living with these people. You understand what I'm saying? So now you giving this new person this new honor of living with you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the thought process and the ideology behind it literally makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's not based upon a system or a science of love and comprehension and common sense. It's based upon, if this person gives me butterflies, head straight first, dive straight first into it. And a lot of you Geminis know from experience that can end up badly. So there's a lot of patience that you Geminis are now being able to actually use to peak game, and you Geminis have. Because the Two of Pentacles now represents, you want to see what this person actually looks like, you know what I mean, through the ups and the downs. And you're not having to artificially engineer or create the ups and the downs. You want to see what their ups and downs are naturally, while you trying to cause them as less amount or the least amount of stress as possible. But the Two of Pentacles represents, it is frustrating because there's so much pressure to move so quickly. And I just see that a lot of you Geminis are marching to the beat of your own drum. Why? Like, people are so fast to get married. People will literally be in relationships starting from cold approach. They don't know each other. People will be in relationships, literally the beginning of it, they don't even know the person, to now trying to get married within 3 years. That's too short of a time period. And then I'll say stuff like 10 years, and people will have a problem with it. 10 years is too long. Anybody who's telling me, this is my own perspective, but anybody who's telling me 10 years is too long, you in the game. Because do you not see what's going on out here? Do those people, Gemini, not see what's going on out here? You understand what I'm saying? The very same thing of what this reading is talking about, how people will play goody and play a role to get what it is that they want. And once they do get what it is that they want, they switch. Like, what? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. People are still practicing the same kind of marital practices, meeting the person within 1 to 3 years, and meeting the person, and then within 1 to 3 years, or maybe even 4 years, give or take, they're married, right? They're hitched. And it's like, why are y'all still practicing some old, tired 1960s stuff when you got people coming up on the internet telling you blatantly they're going to use you, they're going to get you caught up, they're going to try to play you, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And the Eight of Wands now in the Strength card represents you Gemini seeing it, and you're just using it to your advantage, as you should be doing. Because the Eight of Wands and the Strength card represents people don't even last that long. You getting to know them, they don't even last that long. Within the 2 weeks, You already gathered up enough information about them to where you can understand that they're grimy. They're not meant to be trusted. They like to control other people. They like to play mind games. Sometimes they don't even last a month. Sometimes they do last a month. But people want to talk about how it is getting married. Let's talk about getting there. Let's talk about getting there first. We're always so strung up on trying to get married. It's like, listen, I say dub marriage. Anybody who's talking to me personally about the marriage game, I need to be benefiting tremendously in order for me to marry anybody. Because you're literally asking me to still take a big risk, even though you have people jumping up, showing their faces up on the internet for the whole world to see, the World Wide Web, right? And they're talking blatantly, plainly, strictly, not strictly, but straightforwardly about how they're going to use somebody, how they're going to play somebody, how they're going to do everything they can to play mind games. They're going to see if they can coerce and control this person and influence this person even against what they want, just to see if they can do it. They're sadistic. They like to play mind games, but yet they're still asking me to go ahead and marry them. You understand? So it's the same thing for you Geminis. Y'all peep game, and you realize that most people can't even go that 10-year long haul. And I'm talking about, and let me go ahead and address that whole situation too with the whole 10 years thing. I say 10 years, but you can always modify it when enough time goes by and be like, I'm not even going to wait 10 years. I'm going to go ahead and try to get married to this person if that's what you want to do soon, or upcoming, sooner than I thought, because this person is so good to me. But the point that I'm trying to make here with the whole 10 years thing is I'm trying to see somebody's psychological makeup when I talk about something in the distant future. Are they patient enough to even stay consistent that long? Are they that type of person for real, or are they just playing with me? And the thing about it is that the Star card and the Five of Swords represents, and a lot of people don't want to admit attributes and traits about themselves. Because when you Geminis show up, and when you Geminis are like, hey, you showing up, you seeing their games that they're running, you Geminis can actually see them running their games. They don't even want to be able to admit that to themselves, that they got caught by you. They can't even be straightforward enough for you Geminis, and to admit that you caught them in the act, that you saw them, that you were able to see straight through their act, and that you're not even going for it. The Tower and the King of Pentacles represents how it is that, you have to leave them alone in order for them to really get the picture. And even then, they're still acting like they didn't even understand what it is that you was talking about, because they're playing stupid. So now the Judgment now represents how, while at the same time talking this and talking that. This is what I mean when I say that there's a lot of intellectual dishonesty. You cannot build relationships around intellectual dishonesty. You can't do that, because the foundation, the bedrock of the relationship, right, is already dysfunctional. So what you think? You think you could build a house out of that? No, you can't. Foundation is trash. Same thing. A lot of you Geminis were able to see through that. Why would you decide to hang out with somebody who can't even own up to the fact that you caught them playing mind games when you did? They got to even lie about that. So let's clarify the Tower. Page of Wands, Seven of Cups, Three of Cups, Five of Swords, Eight of Swords. Right. The Page of Wands and the Seven of Cups, because those exes that you stopped talking to very recently, or those people that you may have been dating that you stopped talking to, a lot of you Geminis were able to figure out very quickly that all it is that they was trying to hang out with you for was a fun time, if you know what I mean, and whatever else they can get out of you. But they have a habit of doing that and just drifting along. In other words, they're a rolling stone. They're not really planning on sticking around anyone for a very long period of time, consistently, something real. They just only want to hang around somebody and try to get those people to be convinced that they care about them so that they can get whatever they want out of them and leave. So the Three of Cups and the Five of Swords now, this is you Geminis seeing them, how much they are a partier, leaving that type of lifestyle behind, because some of those people may have even been partiers and tried to get you Geminis to be a partier like them, or try to pull you into a whirlwind of what they were into. And the hobbies and the things that they legitimately was into are not any of the things to you that were desirable because you couldn't trust them. So the Eight of Swords now represents how you're in a particular situation where it left you feeling stuck. So a lot of you Geminis needed to take some time to think about what it is that you Geminis were going to do. What would be the wisest thing for you to do given what it is that you have? And a lot of you Geminis came to your own conclusion that it was time for you to leave. Right, this is to clarify the Tower. So let's clarify the Judgment. Let's clarify the Judgment for you Cancer crabs. I'm trying to shuffle this thing up good. So to clarify the Judgment, you have the Nine of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, the Moon, then you have the Seven of Swords, and then you have the Queen of Swords. So these 5 cards right here, the Nine of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, you always have other things to do, places to go, people to see, things to do. So that's one of the best things that a person can have is purpose. Because when you have purpose like you Geminis do, a person trying to get you up underneath their spell and trying to get you up underneath control isn't going to work. See, a lot of the times people, that whole spell stuff, that whole trying to control someone and get someone up underneath their influence is really for people who don't really have a purpose. So when a person doesn't really have a purpose about what it is that they want to do, and if they are not kind of fixated in a healthy manner to their purpose, they can be easily sent off, right? I'm gonna start using that word instead of the M word, but they can easily be sent off. Look up the slang definition of that. Type in sent off or send off, and then next to it, Google slang, and then you'll be able to see what it is I'm talking about. But it means to mislead somebody, misdirect, manipulation. It's the same thing. But the point that I'm trying to make here is I'm gonna start saying the word sent off instead of saying the M word, because I don't know if I can use that or it will damage my views on YouTube. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make here is a lot of you Geminis were able to see through them, and that all these judgments and them looking at you like you're the enemy when you were the one that wanted to get to know them, but they want you to be okay with them using you. And no one who has self-respect is going to allow themselves to be possessed. No one with self-respect is going to be a doll or a puppet for anybody else. It's just based upon principle. Easily sent off for someone else's free will. No one who has self-respect is going to be allow themselves to be a pawn in someone else's game that can just be, thrown to the wolves for any reason, sometimes even without a reason. The Moon and the Seven of Swords now is about how, ironically, wolves are on this, but and a lot of you Geminis know this. And the Seven of Swords, a person can't be hustling. They can't be playing mind games and stuff like that, right? The person has to be straightforward about who they are and what it is that they're looking for. When you meet them, they need to only get better with time. I'm not saying a straight shoot up. Obviously, you're going to have ups and downs, but I'm talking about a trend going upward, right? So if a person, all these notifications. So a lot of you Geminis are like, you're content with this decision that you've made. You Geminis understand that you're not going to allow someone to make you, to have you feel like, you should feel bad about not allowing yourselves to be used, however, just don't go sorrow, however, right? Whatever, however. No kind of self-respect whatsoever. But a lot of you Geminis were able to see it. That's all I have for you.